Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got two replays in the American Tier 10 medium tank, and it's a free XP tank, the T95E6. And if you haven't guessed by the title, as always, this is the games that led up to and achieved the third map actions for the tank. Now, what do I think of the T95E6? Well, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good, to be honest. The only downside to it is that gun. Now, the DPM on it is fantastic. The accuracy on it, however, is not quite so fantastic. It kind of really does let the tank down quite a lot. But for the most part, I seem to be able to make it work. So I don't really have too many problems with it. Like, I'd rather play this tank with 0.38 accuracy and I know it's going to miss, then played like the Chisel where I fully aim my shots and I'm 3-2 accuracy, you know. So I'd rather play this, but that's just my personal preference. It's a tank that is pretty good, and like I say, it can do some serious amounts of damage. As the third mark as well, it's probably one of the easiest tier 10s to do, because the amount of people that have it and the amount of people that, well, let's be honest, idiots and YOLOing in it and then doing like 2 shots of damage, 3 shots of damage is crazy. So in terms of actually 3 marking, it's pretty easy. You've just got to hope that sort of RNG behaves a little bit and that the gun behaves for you. So we're on Mali Winter, and yeah, the team's kind of done what they all seem to be doing recently, which is they all charge down the 1 line. Now, will that work out for him well? We're going to have to see. Doesn't often work out that well. Usually Hill takes it. But we've come to this really aggressive spot on D6, which is a very effective position because you can get shots across the map. You can get good shots across into the base. You can get good shots on the people up on the hill. Now, the issue is, obviously, if people decide to take notice of you up on the hill, then it can be a bad time. Plus, it's a very YOLOable spot, and as you see, well played, Camp Panzer. He YOLO'd me. It tends to be just a place that people just like to YOLO, and it's like, why? So here comes the next one. It's an E4. We get lucky that the auto aim tracks him. No, I wasn't aiming for that at all. Then the auto ricochet angles of the T95E6 comes into play, which is quite nice. Because that is one thing, the armour on this tank is the type that will just ricochet things every now and then, and you sit there going, oh well, okay then, sure. And we've got great DPM, so we're going to rip this guy apart. He's only going to get 1 more shot in. And he bounces again anyway, because he hit our turret from, and he's not firing APCR, he's firing standard rounds from the E4, so more likely chances that he's going to, you know, not pen us. That ricochets off the lower plate, which means we're probably definitely going to eat one from this E4, and we do. We probably wouldn't have eaten that if we'd penned it, the first one, but hey ho, we know we're going to shut him down, and he's gone. Our guys have won the 1-2, but they have won the hill quite comprehensively. We're just going to keep using this spot right now to keep pumping shots in if we can to this Type 5. We've also got the heavy on the right, which we're going to have to pay attention to in a second, because he is hurting our light tank, and he's in a position to YOLO us, which obviously you don't want. Unfortunately, he manages to snap a shot into us, we get a nice shot into his lower plate, but obviously we reload way quicker than he does, so we pop another shot straight into his lower plate. And you've got to make sure that you make use of tanks with bad reloads when you've got a tank like this with such a good reload. So that E75, we knew once he'd fired, we fired basically at the same time. So I knew I was going to reload with at least 2 to 3 seconds before he would. So you got to make sure that you can put your gun into use and, like, you know, you make use of the hit points. And then we only had heat left, so it was an easy pen into the turret front of the E75 because that's only got like 230, 220 millimeters of armor. So the heat, easy peasy, go through the flat based on it. So we're going to go back to try and defend the cap. There's the 705A and the IS-7 in there. And a nice shot flies into the turret. This is going to be a little bit of a problem because of the distance we're at. It means shots are going to dip, but so far so good. We're up to 6k damage as well now. And we're just trying to keep resetting. But the fact is we've also only got heat left, which is also going to make things awkward. Luckily for us, that IS-7 was angled in a way that we could actually shoot through his upper plate, which was quite nice. And I know there's the guys behind us, which is a bit of a worry. As I try and pop one at the 60 TP, but like, I know I'm probably screwed right now, to be honest. And I was just trying to keep the cap resetting, but we really are doomed in this position. We're probably going to... Oh, we're lucky we didn't die to that Kampfpanzer. I expected to. We're going to fully aim the shot on this Kampfpanzer, though. Unfortunately, we hit the dead wreck of the Type 5, and the Kampfpanzer shuts us down. There wasn't much we could have done there. They just collapsed, and the push down the 1-2 obviously didn't work. It never really does, because the people that come off the hill can quite easily shoot everybody in their cap area. So it just generally doesn't work as a push. And obviously, just because somewhere is accessible doesn't mean you should go there. And that's what it is with Mali Winter. So we ended that game with a high caliber, 6.8k damage and 4 kills. And a generally pretty nice game. And I think that put us on to like 94.3, 94.4, something like that. I know that a 6.8k game like that legit moved me up like about just over 1%. Maybe even more than that. I think it was like like I said, this tank is like one of the easiest 3 marks you can do at tier 10. Because the requirements are so low. Like the bot clan's bot said it was about 3.4k to 3 mark, which is probably the lowest out of the lot. Although I don't believe the What Clan's bot all that often nowadays when it comes to tier 10s, because it's generally quite wrong sometimes now since 5.0. But from my experience of doing it when I did it, it said 3.4 at the time, and to actually do it, to keep steady, I was doing 3.6, 3.7, so it's not far off, but you know. So, we are actually on Kitamat. And the first thing I did when I got this map was I pinged C1 and said help. And thankfully for me, the team said, alright, let's help this dude. And they all YOLO rushed this way with me, which is great, because this position we're in is a very, very vital place to be. Because you can really dominate a lot of places on the map from here and get good spread. And this is probably one of the best places to come on the map. You can't let them have this side. And generally, the north spawn, their spawn, gets this part of the map very easily. And if there's only 1 or 2 of you taking this side of the map, it's not going to work. So the fact that my team helped me with this was great. That meant that it meant we could push this position quite aggressively. So obviously we are now pushing these guys. We want to get rid of this Foch because it's a Foch 155. If he's got the 120, which is what it looked like he had, well, that's painful. 6 shots of doom. And if he's got the 155, well, that's even more painful because that's a hell of a lot of health gone. So we shut down the Kampfpanzer. The Foch 155 gets shut down, and there's just this one guy left on the flank. Well, goodbye. And just like he's dead. I mean, we're 2 minutes, 30 seconds in, and we've already done 4k. Nearly. Well, we've done, what, 4.5k combined already. Right? So I already know I'm going up. I'm not dropping at all. I mean, that's just how easy this tank was. Is the fact that I can now quite happily think, you know what, if I'm gonna die, then at least I'm not dropping. Now I'm in a really dumb place with this i7. I YOLO'd down. Didn't quite realise I was on such low health. We get lucky that we ricochet him, and I'm not sure why I did go down that way. I should have followed the other guys. I think I got a little bit greedy with this i7, and luckily I didn't die from that. I could have quite easily died, but the auto ricochet troll turret is what probably saved me there. And that i7 was dead. There was no point pushing him, so because he could probably kill me. So I decided, you know what, I've got to go over here. This is where the rest of the team is for the enemies, and I can get some shots in. So we get a nice shot into the back of the 257, and I'm kind of hoping I can get a free farm on this guy. Hopefully he just doesn't notice me. We get another shot in through his upper plate, but he starts looking at us. It's like, nope, 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 nope. Pulls back behind the train track. And I'm just going to advance up again. And he must now be looking at the other guy. Unfortunately, it bounces, but he gets shut down by a Progetto. Now, the next target, there's an IS-4 there, right? But our next target is how healthy that T95E6 is. So what we want to do is pop a shot at this IS-4 and then head for that guy. Because, I mean, you look see this guy now, he's losing all his health. So we pop a nice shot into the IS-4 with auto aim. I mean, we've only got heat left, so I was pretty confident that it was going to go in unless I hit his tracks. And we're going to charge for this T95E6. We want to spearhead the charge because we want the damage. Because obviously I'm at 94.4, but if I can, you know, push this up to like 6.5k. I mean, I'm already up to 6.7k combined anyway. But if I can push this up even further, then I was pretty confident that I'd get the third mark and I wouldn't have to play another game. Because if you can finish it off in one game, it's always better, isn't it, really? So we finished that game, 6k damage, 5 kills, 1200 assistance, and the third mark of excellence. So we get a high caliber, ace tanker, 3 marks, 6k damage, 1200 assistance. Like I say, that's 7.2k combined. Some of it spotting, most of it was tracking on that Super Conqueror. So we managed to push it over in that one game. 22 shots fired, 17 hits, 17 pens. That's a pretty good ratio for this gun, because like I say, this gun can be pretty terrible. But that's alright, and it was a nice game in T95E6, and it's generally a tank that I quite enjoy playing. And I do quite enjoy playing it. I don't know why. It's a troll gun, but yeah, I enjoy the tank. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.